Michael Heseltine, former Conservative Deputy Prime Minister, has urged voters in hundreds of constituencies across the UK to vote for the Liberal Democrats to stop Boris Johnson's great delusion on Brexit. Lord Heseltine said voters should back the Lib Dems except where former Conservative MPs were standing as independents, giving his endorsement to former Tory ministers David Galkay, Dominic Grieve and Anne Milton. Speaking at a campaign meeting in Buckinghamshire, he advised voters, either vote for defrocked Conservative candidates, of which we have 3 excellent examples here, or vote for the Lib Dems. The Tory grandee said that Mr Johnson's "Get Brexit Done" slogan was a great delusion, because it would herald years of further negotiations with the EU on trade and an uncertain future for Britain. He said voters were being invited to believe that an EU trade deal could be concluded by the end of 2020 simply because Mr Johnson said it would happen. It's not perhaps the most compelling argument, he said. Lord Heseltine warned that voters were being kept in the dark by Tory Eurosceptics about what they would do with the control they were seeking to take back from Brussels, suggesting that they wanted to radically deregulate the economy. He is backing a second EU referendum and insists that pro-European MPs could force whoever becomes Prime Minister to hold a vote on an exit deal. He dismissed Jeremy Corbyn's prospects of entering number 10, saying the Labour manifesto was insane. Lord Heseltine was stripped of the Tory whip earlier this year for voting for the Lib Dems in European elections, joining former Chancellor Ken Clarke among the Tory big beasts sent into exile by Mr Johnson. His endorsement of the Lib Dems at the general election will come as a boost to Jo Swinson, the leader of the centrist pro-EU party, whose campaign has so far failed to ignite public support. Mr Johnson will shrug off Lord Heseltine's comment, arguing that he has already backed the Lib Dems once. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister has used the election to ensure that all Tory candidates are signed up to Brexit and the deal he negotiated in Brussels. Lord Heseltine was speaking at a packed meeting in the Beaconsfield constituency of Dominic Grieve, former Attorney General, who is running as an independent. Mr Galkay, former Justice Secretary, and Ms Milton, former Skills Minister, also attended. The former Deputy Prime Minister, who served in the cabinets of Margaret Thatcher and John Major, said that the 3 former Tory ministers had put their careers on the line because they believe their country is where loyalty lies. Mr Grieve, sacked as a Tory MP for backing legislation to stop a no-deal Brexit, apologised to his audience for the fact that Mr Johnson was pursuing what he claims is a hard Brexit strategy. "I'm sorry my party has gone bonkers," he said. Mr Galkay, contesting nearby southwest Hertfordshire, said, "Millions of people no longer feel comfortable in a Conservative party prepared to do anything and pay any price to pursue a reckless Brexit. But Mr Johnson is confident that Tory candidates can beat the 3 independents, who are having to campaign without party databases and without the backing of a party machine."